When James Gunn and Peter Safran took over as co-CEOs of the new DC studios, we knew changes were inevitable. Everyone was hoping that maybe they would finally start doing something new and different and probably do the DCEU justice, do it the way it's supposed to be done. Because what we've gotten so far has been a confused, dark, gritty mess. Recently, news broke that Patty Jenkins is not going to be directing Wonder Woman 3 anymore. Thank God for that, because that last movie was terrible, and the first movie wasn't awful. I just didn't dig it. I find the ending didn't make any sense, and that kind of killed the whole thing for me. But when Black Adam came out, at the end of Black Adam, there was a cameo showing Henry Cavill as Superman, and people were really excited because Henry Cavill hasn't been Superman for quite a while now. You just tell me, quite a while now, he has not been Superman, and people are not happy about it. They're wondering why he wasn't Superman and all of this. So that's also that controversy around it. But then Henry Cavill came out and made an Instagram post letting people know that, he's officially back as Superman. He's going to be playing Superman moving forward. Well, that joy was short-lived because Henry Cavill is no longer playing DC's Superman. My turn to wear the cape has passed, Cavill writes in an Instagram post. Now, I'm going to go through this, and it's probably going to get a little heated in this one because there are certain things that's really pissing me off, but let me get through with it first and see what happens. Now, this is the post here. I'm going to read it out. So, this is the post that Henry Cavill put up on Instagram. I have just had a meeting with James Gunn and Peter Safran, and it's sad news, everyone. I will, after all, not be returning as Superman. After being told by the studio to announce my return back in October, prior to their hire, this news isn't the easiest, but that's life. The changing of the guard is something that happens. I respect that. James and Peter have a universe to build. I wish them and all involved with the new universe the best of luck and the happiest of fortunes. For those who have been by my side through the years, we can mourn for a bit, but then we must remember, Superman is still around. Everything he stands for still exists, and the examples he sets for us are still there. My turn to wear the cape has passed, but what Superman stands for never will. It's been a fun ride with you all, onwards and upwards. Now, Henry Cavill is one of those very few actors in Hollywood that can actually be genuine, and you can actually say he's a genuine person. Even though this clearly is upsetting him and he's probably really pissed off about it, I'm not going to lie, he should be pissed off about it. He still made this post, and in true gentleman fashion, let everybody know this is sad news. I won't be back as Superman, but I wish them the best of luck and move on. You understand me? And he still made it known at the end that Superman is still around, everything he stands for still exists, and the examples he sets for us are still there. This is how you do something. You go out with some grace. You don't have to be like Frost and the rest of those G4 wackos and go online and attack everybody left, right, and center. You just go out with some grace. Now, as I say this, you know what? Better I read the next one first, and then I'll get into it. That now, after he did this, this is what James Gunn put out on his Twitter about a day after this happened. Peter and I have a DC slate ready to go, which we couldn't be more over the moon about. We'll be able to share some exciting information about our first projects at the beginning of the new year. Among those on the slate is Superman. In the initial stages, our story will be focusing on an earlier part of Superman's life, so the character will not be played by Henry Cavill. Now, let me just take and say that there are two parts to this. I'm going to get into two parts to this. The first part is that James Gunn and Peter Safran want to create their own DC universe. They want to do their own thing. They have a story and an idea of what they want to do, and they clearly have something in mind that they want to pursue going forward and do with a younger Superman and all of this. Now, they were hired to do a job, hired to do something. Okay, I can understand and respect that. That's part one. The second part, let me address the Henry Cavill matter first. Henry Cavill wants to play Superman. He looks the role of Superman. He's a man in his prime right now, ready to play Superman. You could get probably at least another 3 movies out of him as Superman. But when you see you have these people who have their own egos, their own ideology of what they want, and they're not listening to the fans, not interested, and let's get it done. Because let's be honest for a moment here. James Gunn is writing this Superman story. Now, James Gunn has had success with Guardians of the Galaxy, but when you look at the end of the Peacemaker series, there was a cameo with Superman. You didn't get to see Superman's face or anything, but there's a cameo with Superman. But the question you really have to ask yourself is James Gunn really the right person to be writing Superman? And my answer is no, he isn't. You need somebody who can respect the source material and decide to do what they want to, and decide to do it the correct way. Keep in mind, James Gunn did tell John Cena not to read anything in regards to Peacemaker because he wanted to make it his own. DC has this, Zaslav hired them for a 10-year plan to compete with the MCU. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Competing with the MCU is not competing with the MCU, fine. But following the same process as the MCU does not make any sense. Look at where the MCU is now. They have pretty much contaminated everything. There was a time when the comics influenced the movies and so forth. Now the movies are influencing the comics, influencing the TV series, influencing this. It's too much and people are just sick and tired of it. Really sick and tired of it. Henry Cavill wants to play Superman. He left The Witcher because it has been confirmed, but realistically he left The Witcher because they didn't respect the source material. Before Man of Steel came out, there wasn't a good Superman movie. I think the last Superman movie they really had was what Christopher Reeve did. The first 2 Superman movies that Christopher Reeve was in was good. The other 2 we won't talk about. Then they had that god-awful Superman Returns crap that I'm not even going to mention. But Man of Steel, Henry Cavill in that was a good Superman. It wasn't a good script. The movie wasn't done very well. That is not really his fault. Batman v Superman was terrible also because bad writing again. They wanted to create this dark, gritty universe that nobody was interested in. It wasn't working. Then we had the Justice League, the crappy Justice League that nobody gave 2 shit about. Then we had the Snyderverse Justice League, which I actually liked. Now you have to look at this. If you're going to do anything DC related, you need Superman. Superman is their flagship, their main character. Yes, there have been more Batman stories over the years, and all kind of Batman, right. But you have to do Superman. And if you do Superman the right way, you won't have this problem. But with this now, with Henry Cavill out as Superman, it's pretty much clear to see at this point in time that everybody else would probably be going too. Because if James Gunn and them want to do a hard reset, that means Henry Cavill is out. Most likely Gal Gadot is out. Ben Affleck is out. Ben Affleck wasn't a bad Batman, just wasn't put in a very good movie. That's it. Ezra Miller is definitely not coming back because, you know, he get one too many lightning bolts from the Speed Force to the head, so he's out. You understand me? Ray Fisher is not coming back as Cyborg because he pretty much hates the studio at this point. Jason Momoa, Aquaman, I think that's pretty much finished now. They have a next movie coming, but after that, that's pretty much done. And people have been saying time and time again, let's have Jason Momoa play Lobo. He looks the role and could work. That's probably something. So it's pretty much clear that the Snyderverse is just gone. Now, James Gunn says that they have initial stories focusing on the earlier part of Superman's life. Common sense would dictate. Common sense would dictate. People want Henry Cavill as Superman. They want a properly done DC universe with that. You could have decided, right? You could have decided. If you want to look forward to a 10-year plan or look forward to more than that, you could have decided, okay, here's what. Let's look at a 7-year plan first. We could have Henry Cavill play Superman for another 3 movies tops, right? Bring back Gal Gadot, probably Ben Affleck as Batman, whatever. You know, do a Trinity movie at some point, really tie it in. Let fans actually feel like, okay, we could watch this. This is Superman and this is the DCU done properly. Really get them into it and let them say, like, okay, you know, the Snyderverse happened before, it wasn't done very well. Or, you know, let's see what you could do with these actors who actually want to play the role. Then, after you've done that now, when you've done this for, let me say 7 years, you've done this now, then you can do your earlier reboot of Superman and a young age, because there are many Superman stories to tell. You could tell great Superman stories with Henry Cavill. Last time around, they tried to jumble a whole bunch together. It didn't make any kind of sense. You have to know what you're doing. If you don't, it does not work. Yes, there's one of my subscribers who comments all the time on my channel that he's a big Batwoman fan. And let me just correct it right here though. He's not a CW Batwoman fan. Right? He's not a CW Batwoman fan because he hates CW Batwoman with a passion. He's a Batwoman fan of Batwoman in comics. And he's been saying many times to me that, you know, he would love to see Batwoman done right in live action, either a TV series or a movie or something. And I've said to him before, I said to him again, and say it again. If you're going to do Batwoman, you have to do Batman well, and you have to do these things. You have to do Batman, Robin, Nightwing, Batgirl, all these things before you could even get to Batwoman. With this news now that James Gunn and Peter Safran want to reboot and create their own new thing, I'm sorry, it's very unlikely that you may get a Batwoman at all, because there was even talk a while back about them wanting to do a Kingdom Come, live action movie. So it's possible that they could be looking to move towards that eventually. Again, as I keep saying, you cannot want to compete with the MCU and run after them. The MCU has written themselves into a massive corner now and struggling to stay above water because they know that they're screwed. Henry Cavill wants to be Superman. He's willing to play the role. He can finish out his story as Superman. Show that, listen, this stuff happening wasn't good. You could take it and move forward with it, and then you can move to your own stuff. Because guess what? 10 years from now, 15 years from now, people are still going to want to see Superman movies. They're still going to want to see them. So you have time to do it. But when you do a hard reset and a hard reboot, no. I mean, Henry Cavill's not having a really good time. I mean, look at what happened with The Witcher. It was not The Witcher. People know you basically tried to just bait people in with Geralt of Rivia and then turned it into a feminist, alpha female crap with Yennefer and all kind of people that nobody was interested in. You have these people who have their egos, who want to do what they want to do without listening to what the fans want, respecting what the fans want, and putting together something that will actually work. I said at the beginning when it was made knowledge that James Gunn and Peter Safran was taking over, I said, okay, I am optimistic but highly cautious, and it has paid out to be true. Henry Cavill, despite people liking him and wanting him back as Superman, is officially out. And from what I understand, they started some petition to Zaslav to bring back Henry Cavill and get rid of James Gunn. That's not going to happen, people. It's not going to happen. For the same reason that they keep making these dotish decisions, not going to happen. They don't listen to the fans. They expect to put out something and expect you to like it. Now, that being said, when James Gunn and Peter Safran put out their new Superman thing, I'll have to take a look at it and I will give it an honest review. You can expect that from me. You will get an honest review. But at this point in time, people, the Snyderverse is officially dead. That's it. Because once Henry Cavill is out as Superman, there's really no reason to bring back anybody else. Gal Gadot was a good Wonder Woman, like I said, could have used a little more bulking up, but a good Wonder Woman overall. She's probably gone too. Ben Affleck, even though they're in talks with him, he's probably gone too. Ezra Miller is not coming back. Ray Fisher hates the studio, he's gone. Jason Momoa, Aquaman, probably they might recast him as Lobo, we don't know, he's gone. But this is what is there. And don't think for a second that there is not going to be a lot of woke influencing going forward. This does not bode well for the future of the DCU, but I stand ready to be wrong and hope that I could be wrong and actually turns out to be true. But I don't see it at this point in time. Bottom line, people, Henry Cavill is no longer playing DC Superman. And this is what we've got. It's what little hope we had of seeing Henry Cavill play a really good Superman on screen is now gone. He's upwards and out of there. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell. Be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.